Hello and welcome to another episode of the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast. This is episode 81, the WT Fail Special. On this show we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else a gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Ryan Cross, from the Firearms Radio Network, your source for broadcasts for shooters, hunters, and gun enthusiasts. So on this episode, we're going to be firing up the flamethrowers and roasting some products that just make us scratch our heads. Today I have with me Chad, Tony Simon, and Sam Asner. How's it going, guys?
Oh, it's going good.
It's good to go.
Fantastic.
GTG, guys. So, this episode we're going to be talking about things that are heavily marketed as tactical and kind of we just don't approve of, or we're maybe personally we're just not a big fan of, but you might be your cup of tea. But yeah, we're going to be having some fun. We're going to be spreading the butthurt around. So if we're not calling any of these companies names or being personally hurtful, but these products in particular, we're going to be ripping a new one for.
I just thought of another name for this episode.
What's that?
Tactifail.
Tactifail? Yeah, well, actually, next episode, 82, will be like the Tact-to-Win, technically. Like, it'll be tactical products that we actually do really like and support. So
it's going to be full of Magpul stuff?
Hey. No, it will not be full of Magpul stuff.
Oh, I forgot. I thought this was stuff that I really liked. Oh, I got this whole thing wrong. Man, I got to send these balls back.
Yeah, there will be mention of tactical balls later on in the episode. I'll just tease you with that right now.
Tactiballs.
Tactiballs. So right off the bat, we've got Browning has a tactical tomahawk that they just released. It's called the Shock and Awesome, which is a pretentious name for a product if I've ever heard one. It's a tactical tomahawk. What it does, besides looking like a mall ninja's best friend, I'm not sure.
Okay, is this a new product? Is this something that's been around?
It just came out. It's fairly new.
Okay. We were talking about this before we went on air, Ryan, but I was like Browning is synonymous with just quality. Like their shotguns, their hunting rifle. I mean, they just make good stuff. At what point do they have the glut of money and or time to be like, you know what, we need a tactical cutlery division to make useless junk?
Well, I think this happened. Browning saw how much money Smith & Wesson was making off of their useless knives that are really Chinese knockoffs that they just put their name on.
That's true.
Went, that's easy money. What should we do? I know what to do. Get a dude that's a guy to make hunting knives, and then get him and Nothing Fancy's buddy Officer Jared together and come up with a line of tactical knives.
Yeah, but here's
that's what they did. If you go to his website, you'll see it.
The $5 Smith & Wesson Tac Ops knife that you get at Pep Boys is just that. Yeah. It's a $5 knife. I use them at work, and we beat the heck out of them. And when they break, you throw them out. This is a $100 tomahawk. Who's you know what I need to spend $100 on? This. Who's the person? Show me the person.
They figure the price is because they paracord wrap the handle. I mean, you're getting some paracord with it.
You can get a really sweet zombie green one off Amazon.
Well, that's G10. They say G10 wait a minute, dude, it's lemon. I mean, it's not I don't know. It wasn't made in Asgard. That's all I'm saying. Calm down.
So Browning's got this Black Label tactical gear brand that they've got, I guess, just tactical knives under it. So this would be the Black Label tomahawk. Correct me if I'm wrong, but tomahawks are meant to be thrown, so they should be balanced. Yes. This does not look balanced at all.
That's the theory behind them.
Yeah, so I mean, let's just go through the the features, I mean, the main blade is 2 3/4 inches. Overall length is 10.5 inches. It's made out of high carbon 1055 tool steel. With it's got the handle's got kind of finger grooves, a glass breaker at the end of the hilt, I guess, and it's got a hole in it for a lanyard. It's wrapped with nylon paracord. What's G10 about it?
I don't know.
Where's it say
Yeah.
G10?
I read somewhere that it had.
Yeah,
maybe
it
that
had
was
G10 on it. I read it too.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was Attack the Awesome. What was it? One of them's the Awe and the other one's the Awesome. Maybe I got them confused. But yeah,
Okay.
they said they had G10 handles on it. And I'm like, what does that mean? I mean, so
maybe
what?
they got the description mixed up with one of their
Listen,
knives.
It's just people say it's plastic. It's fancy plastic.
Yeah.
40 years ago, they were calling it Bakelite. That was fancy plastic.
I'll
And
go
now
with
you
you.
can
I
get,
think the
now you
best.
can get Bakelite AK grips for like $2.
I think the best made-up name was Colt when they came out with the AR-15. Of course, it's aluminum, aluminum lower. They call it Colt Aluminum.
Cold aluminum.
Colt Aluminum. I found one of their early ads from some magazine subscription I had. And yeah, Colt Aluminum.
Yeah, I think I figured out what the deal is. There's the shock and awe, and then there's the shock and awesome. And I think what our buddy Ryan did was he put the wrong picture and the wrong link in the show notes.
All right, that's
So
what was confusing.
It's just the shock and awe tomahawk, right? There's no
Yeah.
awesome about it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there is a shock and awesome tomahawk that does have
it's
G10
longer.
handles. Yes,
That
and
one
it's
does have
slightly-
G10 handles. Okay.
and it is bigger,
All right, cool. That wasn't just me.
How
and
the
it's
heck-
$133. Oh, okay. We can go back to
G10
that.
scales for superior grip. It's
Yeah.
an intimidating looking blade.
Okay.
All right.
Hold on. While this intimidating looking blade would not be out of place inside a police cruiser, it is equally at home clearing limbs from shooting lanes or chopping wood for a cooking fire. How dare you, Browning? How
I
dare
think-
you?
I think the only thing it's useful for is chopping the wood.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Not
So
a place in a police cruiser.
to clear
Hi,
the
officer.
record here.
Is that a shock and awesome?
is that a shocking awesome tomahawk?
Is that a shock?
So, all right. So to clear the record, Browning's got 2 tomahawks. One's longer than the other. So the shock and awesome tomahawk is 13 inches, and it does not have paracord on the handle. It's got that checkered G10. The shock and awe tomahawk is basically the shorter version. Looks like the same blade, but it's got a shorter handle and it's wrapped in paracord, and it's $30 cheaper. So shock and awe is $98 MSRP. Shock and awesome is the bigger tomahawk, and it's $133. They both look impractical. I mean, they're basically like a little camp axe, for splitting wood. It's got a pointed end, so if you trip over a rock at your campsite, you're going to impale yourself on the pick on the end of it. Or if you wanted to use that pick to terrorize Boy Scouts and rip into their tents at night, you can do that too, I guess. I don't get it. I guess the shock and awe has the glass breaker on the end of it, while the other one does not. It's got more of a...
The
There's
thing's
that
a giant
silver
piece
hole.
of steel. The whole thing's a glass breaker. It's so dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, no?
You're adding things just so you have something to write about.
It's got that pick end on the other hand. I mean, you just hit the window
Exactly.
with it, and it breaks.
Yeah.
No. See, obviously you guys didn't pay attention to Sam Asman and his awesome review of Cliffhanger. You can climb a mountain with
that
pick
pick.
at the end of the day. It's awesome.
Who's this Sam Asner guy?
Yeah, if you had 2 of them,
Yeah.
like, oh, I just so happened to get lost, near an ice shelf, and I so happen to have 2 of my shock and awe tactical tomahawks in my pockets. Let me climb this ice shelf. Oh.
Wow.
Well, I mean, compare this to the SOG tomahawk. It's kind of been the best seller in the category.
Right.
I mean, they're basically trying to get a piece of the pie of that market.
Well, if they
Between
cut,
the two, I mean, what do you guys think?
If they cut the price in half, then they would at least compete with the SOG Tomahawks that throw pretty nice, by the way.
Yeah,
this is Browning.
Yeah.
It's Browning. Oh, you're paying an extra $50 for the name. Never mind.
I have no idea. Hey, listen, good for Browning figuring out a way to get a revenue stream by using just their name on some pretty much Chinese-made tomahawks that probably have for $35 without the Browning name. Not mad at them. Get that cash.
Yeah, I mean,
someone's getting paid.
Browning's been around for a long time. They're not doing this to lose money. If somebody's dumb enough to buy this, I'm sure they'll enjoy it, hopefully without hurting themselves. More
But
power
really,
to everyone.
really, they need to start working on the names of some of this stuff, though. If you looked at the names of their black label knives, it's like, the Intimidator, the Choco MFR.
They sound like monster trucks from the 80s.
Yes, they do.
Well, isn't the shock and awe from the first Iraq War?
Yeah, but I mean, they use anything and everything. And yeah, I do think they use it from the monster truck races.
Black label Pandemonium folder. Submission Spear Point G10 folder.
Oh, there's the TNT.
It's dynamite.
So if you think that you really need something like this in your go bag or whatever, it does come with a injection molded sheath. You can get it at Browning's website. Yeah, I mean, no judging if you're into this sort of thing, but we think it's funny. But not as funny as the next product, since we're talking about blades here. This takes it to a whole nother level. That level's not exactly vertical.
I'll get 3 of those.
Yeah.
The Gatchet or the Tact Axe?
Yeah, the Tact Axe and the Gatchet. And these are made by MeleeMods.com. So what they are is basically adding a battle axe blade to your Gat, or your Glock, or your pistol, or to your long gun, your shotgun, or your AR-15. Yeah. Check it out. So they are 1065 carbon steel, black anodized, and heat treated to the hardness of 52, and they basically just mount Picatinny onto your Glock or Springfield XD. They do not. The Gatchet is the first one we'll talk about, so it's meant for your Gat, which I don't know if you know, but that's street lingo for your sidearm, your pistol. I just wanted to make sure everyone knew that. You knew that, right, Tony?
I was checking my street legal dictionary. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Yeah. So it apparently does not fit M&Ps and Taurus Millenniums.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Boo-hoo. It's a MSRP is $110, and it's just basically a big old carbon steel axe blade.
It looks like somebody just took an angle grinder to scrap metal that came off of a 1974 Buick.
And attached
There's no
Picatinny rail.
There's no form. It's so ugly. There's zero finesse and this.
Yeah, you want to know the sad part about this? I was listening to This Week in Guns, and somebody on there mentioned that somebody needed to make a hatchet for a attachment, and I had seen this, and so it made me think this is just ridiculous. And so I sent it to Ryan and said, yeah, this is pretty ridiculous, pretty much my favorite. Why the heck would you want a blunt axe head on something?
Well, they have blade sharpening service, so for the 90% of people that just want to make Bubba's tack gun, they'll just get the dull one because it looks sweet. But for those that are really preparing for the zombie apocalypse, they can have the blade sharpened. So
yeah, but the thing is,
let's look at it through the lens of pure zombiness.
Okay.
You have pistol grip, pump. That I think a tact axe, on the end of it, just hold that pistol grip and swing it from the pistol grip. You could do some decaps.
No, I think what would work better would be is if you had a sling on there. Then you could just swing it around your head.
Well, see, I'm thinking it's a good idea, and I'm really tired of you guys. Like, I mean, really, I'm getting one from a high point because I won a 9-pound pistol. I really think this would put it over the top. And I really need something for that recoil mitigation with the 40 and the high point because it weighs 4 pounds loaded. So I need help. Oh, my God.
It's just a counterbalance.
But this is great because, I mean, really, with the new Mad Max movie coming out, this thing will probably sell well.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's definitely themed that way.
Maybe Melee Mods will sponsor
especially
the
with
movie.
girl.
You know, they got a
Might as
gallery.
well get in on that monies.
They got a gallery page where they show, you know, the shotgun with the axe on there, the AR-15 with it hanging off the quad rail, and the Glock 19 and a Springfield XD9 subcompact with these on there. I mean, on a pistol, I mean, the bayonets on pistols is not new, but it's definitely not like a popular choice. Like, there's never been a military branch that was like, you know what, everyone needs bayonets on their sidearms. Like, make it so. It's definitely for the guys that want to be like, oh man, this would be cool in like a Resident Evil zombie situation.
Well,
but
see, the one that you've seen probably before this is the for the pistol that has like maybe like a 2-inch pig sticker of a blade sticking out of it.
Yeah.
That, I think, I just imagine that in like some action movie, sort of like along the lines of Machete or something. Or one of those where, you know, somebody's, you know, shooting and just, bam, stabs a guy like in the eye or like the ear hole or something, you know. Kind of like a Equilibrium meets Machete meets a zombie apocalypse where, you know, maybe a more modest handgun bayonet. But this thing is huge.
Well, there's also a big safety issue too, because I mean, with the bayonet, you know, your muzzle is pointed toward what you're ideally, you know, willing to destroy.
Right.
So, you know, stick, you know, you just jab at it. But with an axe, you've got to swing to gain momentum to be able to, you know. So I don't want to see some guy at the range, you know, trying to hack up watermelons with his Glock 19 or 17, and he's swinging that pistol right, you know, over his shoulder and muzzling everybody.
Trigger control. It's all about trigger control.
No, it's idiot control is what it means.
My safety is right here.
Yeah.
I just watched that movie last night for this week's episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh man, that's a good movie.
I may have missed it, but they also show it. They show the bigger one mounted on a shotgun, and you know, I'm wondering if you were to whack something hard enough. I mean, are you going to bend the barrel on that shotgun? It's just a smooth tube.
Oh, no, I think you'll have more of a chance of bending the barrel on your AR when you're attached. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, either that or jacking up that quad rail or that barrel nut, you know.
Well, the dust cover on your pistol, you know, that polymer frame is definitely going to give at some point. You're going to rip the rails
right off. If you get that stuck in someone's skull, you know, having to pry that out, you might warp that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Make a great for the shooting range. Go up to the bench, stab it right into the bench, and then you've got a nice little stable shooting rest. You know.
See, you have to think outside the box. That is awesome.
It's a monopod.
Awesome. Yep.
Yeah.
It's a really sharp monopod.
Yeah. Or
so when people talk about buying stuff made in America, this is what they mean, right?
Oh God.
Quality American-made product. Just ask.
This isn't made in America. This is made in America.
America.
So if you go to the website meleemods.com, you can see exactly what we're talking about. If you want to buy this for yourself or a friend for ironic value, you can do that as well. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. If any of my friends had this on my guns, they wouldn't be my friends for much longer because it's a head shaker for sure. The TAC Axe is $120. by the way. So between 110 and 120 is what you're going to be into for these guys.
That's a lot of money for a joke.
It is. It's a lot of money for a boat anchor, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, but if I want to send my friends a joke in the mail, I'll click on an adult video site and send something to them for $20. Just saying.
All right, so the next
It's
product...
a lot funnier until my wife sees it on my credit card. It's funny until my wife sees it on my credit card bill.
Too much.
Yeah, the next product.
Yeah, so the next product is something that it intends for good things, but I saw it and I knew it had to be on this episode. It's the Mule Tactical Adaptive Storage Stock. Why they're not calling it the Mule TAS or just the Mule Ass Adaptive Storage Stock? Like throw out the tactical, just call it the Mule Ass. What it is, it's a stock that has a compartment which can house your sidearm right into the stock of your rifle. Who needs holsters, right? So basically, this goes on your AR-15. They also have a AK-47 version. It's a very, me and Sam were talking about it earlier. It's not like very much bigger than some of the stocks that are out there that are, adjustable position where they've got kind of a toe that comes down, kind of in the shape of a triangle. It's a little bit larger than that, but just because it looks like a boat paddle, just because of the amount of surface area that's on there, and it hinges downwards, so it gets even bigger, to where it looks like you're, transforming into some kind of Japanese fighting robot. So this folds down, and you can pull out your Glock, 26, 27. I don't know if it fits all subcompacts and compacts or just a certain size. I don't know if you'll be able to shove a full size 1911 or Taurus.
Only 4-inch barrels. Only 4-inch barrels.
Only 4-inch barrels.
Only 4-inch barrels.
Okay.
You know what? I may be changing my mind because I went to that website again, and I watched like the video of this YouTube guy, Cotton 68 SPC, and he doesn't have, it's not a slinged rifle in the video, but if you imagine on a sling, he transitions down, presses the button on the stock, and you're right there. It's like, it's so close, but still for the versatility and reliability, it's not, no, just, it's like, part of me does want to appreciate it, but part of me says, dang, that's a giant stock.
Yeah, this is real close to be on the fence there. What were you going to say, Tony?
I looked it up. I was really trying to take this seriously. I went and I looked it up. I went to their website. I went to their YouTube channel, and I'm watching it. And they're having a hard time explaining to anyone why you would actually need this. I actually went to their website and looked under frequently asked questions, and their first question wasn't, "What the hell are you going to do with this?" That should have been. That's what I'm looking at it. Why would I ever need it, and what will I do with it?
I think
every excuse they came up with didn't sell me.
Tony, I think you bring up a good point. When it comes to like tactical stuff, I think that's like kind of the first question, and I think that's what a lot of companies need to explain is, why does this give you an advantage? Like, why do you need this?
Yeah.
And
I wrote this down today talking about this product and then talking about the products we're talking about tonight. The likelihood of your product being a success is directly related to how hard someone has to work at finding a reason to use it.
Huh.
If I can't come up with a reason why I need this, why am I going to drop $100, $200 on it, and I can't figure out why would I ever use it? I mean, hell, if you're going to do it, what you do is, I don't know, hire 2 dudes with special operations backgrounds and then have them do really cool stuff with it, and then everybody will buy into it. I mean,
right.
like something
or just
really
get Chris
dynamic.
Costa.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
or Travis Haley. Like, get one of those big guys to just run around and do stuff with it.
Why do you need to conceal a pistol inside of a rifle, is what I want to know. Like, is it because you're out of ammo? Isn't a
and that's the thing they don't explain. They don't say, this is a faster transition, or like this is a last resort. It's just like, here's our product.
Well, no, because really, if you look into it, I mean, everybody here owns a pistol, I'm sure, and probably have a holster for it. I mean, I have one, even though I can't carry in Jersey. I still have it. You know how difficult it is to find just the right holster? This just drops that whole thing. You don't even need it. You got the holster on your rifle. You don't have to go through any of that money.
But is it considered a concealed weapon when it's in the stock?
They need to exhibit the rapper to be endorsing this, because there's an internet meme where it puts... because he did that show Pimp My Ride, where it's like he finds out about the vehicle owner's interest, and he's like,
yo, I heard you like dogs, so I put dogs inside your car.
Exactly.
I heard you like TV, so I put a TV on the bottom of your car so you can roll over yourself and watch.
I heard you like guns, so I put a gun inside your gun.
Thank you. I was waiting for someone to hit that. Perfect soundbite right there. So, wow. I mean, that's basically what it comes down to. The mule, the stock weighs 20 ounces, the holster weighs an ounce and a third, and the buffer tube, is like 6 ounces or whatever. But then you're putting a fully loaded pistol in the stock, so you're adding ounces to the back of your rifle.
You might actually unbalance that thing pretty quickly.
Yeah, like you're going to have to put a melee mod axe on the front of your rifle just to balance it out.
I'd kill for a picture of those two on the same gun.
Awesome.
Oh,
and now you have
Photoshop.
a 5.56
I can make it
that weighs
happen.
more than a BAR.
I mean, at least if you have, they've got those rails where you can actually mount a pistol underneath your handguard, so you can use it like a forward grip and another barrel to your gun. If you run out of 223, you just, start squeezing the trigger on your support hand, and bam, you're shooting some pistol rounds. But this, I don't understand. So the holster looks kind of like one of those, what do you call it, holsters that just cover the trigger guard, so it's a little bit more universal. Why is what I want to know. I would much prefer a stock that has storage room for a full magazine, because I'd take that. There's stocks out there that accept the 10 round and 20 round magazines, but if this was a big fugly stock that I could stick a whole 30 or 40 round magazine in, I'd be okay with that, because at least I always know that in a situation where I didn't have time to grab all my magazines, I've got one on the platform. I'd go with that. But this, I'm not sure.
By the way, did you go to the website and read the part where they talked about the meat tenderizer in the butt of the firearm?
Oh, of course there's a meat tenderizer. It's a hollow plastic chunk that's going to be rattling.
No, right there at the right there at the very heel of it. It's what they call the meat tenderizer, and according to their description, it's for when you want to use non-lethal force by hitting people with a 10-pound rifle with a pistol in the butt.
Right. And the other thing is...
non-lethal.
I just find that something this outlandish and weird, I feel like the build control... Like, that polymer isn't Magpul quality polymer.
No.
Right?
Not feeling it, huh?
So what I'm thinking is, like, you give that meat tenderizer, like, 2-3 good strokes... That thing ain't gonna latch up right anymore. Like, it looks like it's held in by a very simple button. You know what I'm saying?
No, two. One on each side.
Right, but it's like...
2 buttons. No. I just don't know if it's really
Mule Tactical, if you're listening, if you'd like to send me a product to review...
I will drive over it.
And drag it behind a vehicle.
Yeah, I think maybe their intention was you're supposed to take the pistol out and take like a hot knife to it and then just kind of cut it so it's then kind of a minimalist stock. Maybe that's what their intention was.
Wow.
Yeah. Also, it's got a kind of an angled slope of a cheek weld, so that it's got those 2 tubes. You can take the caps out and store batteries in them. And that's a pretty utilitarian design that I can appreciate.
When you just need to cram a few more ounces to the butt of your gun.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I mean the mule, the whole idea of a mule is a pack animal, meaning that it's a pack mule, be able to handle lots of carrying items for you. Obviously, that's the concept behind the stock, is a stock that can carry a lot of things for you. So if they slimmed it down and it carried a cleaning kit, yeah, you're on to something. I don't. They kind of went beyond what was needed. I mean,
I think what a great use for this stock would be is to put a med kit in it.
There you go.
Because it's big enough that you could actually store enough of a med kit in it.
Or a bag of Funyuns.
Yes, or Skittles.
Or some duct tape. Some duct tape would go great in that for when you go to the range and your friends see it and they laugh their butts off. You can actually pin it up and tape their butts back on with the duct tape that's in your stock.
Or I don't know if you guys have ever seen the M&M dispensers where like the M&M guy's standing there and you just pull his arm down and like an M&M comes out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Like if they somehow fashioned up something where you could fill it with candy, and then you press a button or actuate a lever, and like a sensible serving of candy comes out, to refresh.
A sensible serving of candy?
Yeah. Well,
that stock's not big enough for that.
Yeah, but if you had 20 sensible servings, over your day at the range, you'd be well candied up. You'd be fed on point.
Yeah, I guess you could put your lunch in it too.
Like a sandwich. You could put a sandwich in it.
Some MREs or some Mountain Home meals, just shove in there.
So I guess it's more useful than we're giving it credit for.
Yeah. Obviously, we have to think outside the box when dealing with the mule ass.
And it's a big box too.
But here's kind of the other thing. A lot of people have different firearms for different reasons. Different firearms I have different purposes. Some defensive, some just fun, some collective that I have not even shot, that I just have. But the overlying thing is like, unless it's serving something, like if it's for a defensive purpose, it will only be serving, maximizing that defensive use. If it's just to have because I think it looks cool, it's got to look good. And this doesn't do anything.
It does not look good.
Yeah.
Just no. Okay.
So, if you go to their frequently asked questions page, there's a question: what platforms does the mule fit on? So it does fit any platform that accepts a 1 3/16 threaded buffer tube, like AR-15s, AK-47s that have that buffer tube or receiver extension adapter on there. But the most common adapters that they offer for other rifles other than AR-15s are, you got the Remington 870, Mossberg 500, 590, obviously the AK-47, the Origin 12 shotgun, the Iraq 21 and 31, the MP5, the SIG 556, Ruger Mini 14, M1A, M14, M1 Garand, and M1 carbine. Like, they even expect people to put this mule on some M1 carbines and M1 Garands.
Okay,
that's
now,
interesting.
I know we pretty much ran this thing through the mud, but under the facts also it says, does mule come with a holster? All right. Then it says, mule comes equipped with an all-purpose storage module that can be used for storing gun cleaning kits, survival gear, first aid, food, basically anything that'll fit inside. The modular holsters are sold separately. The person ordering them could choose the amount of holsters based upon customer need, blah, 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 blah. But basically they're saying, put whatever you want in this thing. So,
Yeah, I mean, I wish that was a little bit more out front and open, because I was under the impression that, this was primarily a holster option.
Well, I think that's kind of like their fireworks there. They're like, gun inside of a gun, like that whole, like, kind of, hey, look at this sort of catch-you thing.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, they should have had, like, a collage of, like, a couple different options. Or, I don't, it's just...
I mean, like, the Survivor prepper bug-out market would be ideal. I I mean, don't you think if it's like, hey, put your first aid kit in here, put your food in here, put your radio in here, so if you're like bugging out and all you could do was grab your rifle, you've at least got some supplies in your stock.
Right, you could have like a basic evasive, whatever they call it. There's an acronym for it, but like evade, whatever, like little kit, fire starting kit. Like you could have a good chunk of survival stuff crammed up in that. But there's also other stocks on the market for that look good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's the thing. They have a YouTube channel. They could produce making it to a med kit or any of that on their channel.
But they don't.
What you find on that channel, but they don't, is them down at Knob Creek doing a display with this, shooting it at the range. And they still don't come up with a reason why you need this, even during their like minute and 30 seconds, or I think 3-minute long video where they're demonstrating this thing. I'm like, explain why you use it, and they don't. And I mean, you're wasting assets if you have a channel. And again, it does sound like something you can actually put a kit in. I mean, if you're scrambling for a reason to use this, that is one, and they don't use it.
Wow.
So, yeah, and the acronym you're looking for was SEER, S-E-R.
There it is.
Or at least that's, yeah. That was some things. I didn't know they still had that, yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, they got videos, they call it the redneck road test, which I don't know why running over a vehicle, or running over a product with a tire is automatically a redneck. But, like most people, like Magpul, let's park a truck on top of it, put all of its weight on the product to make sure that the plastic holds up. So they do that. Congratulations. I'm slightly offended because, why would you just throw redneck on there? But,
because I run it over with my pick-em-up truck.
With my pickup truck, yeah. So, I mean, he runs it over, tests the buttons, and it still works. It seems like it flips out fairly, like, assisted. You might have some kind of spring in there that when you press those two buttons, it kind of comes out with, enough authority that it clears and you can grab the pistol. But go ahead.
No, I mean, with this running over, I've seen various channels where people test firearms out, especially AK-47s, by throwing them down in the dirt and dragging them behind the vehicle. I just wonder how in the heck did they adopt a 1903 Springfield in the 1911? I mean, did they just use a horse to drag them around the field instead of a vehicle? I mean, because that's how the military tests those weapons, right? They drag them behind a truck for when you're dragged behind a truck with your firearm.
Right.
I mean, they don't just shoot the crap out of them, right? I mean, that's what I read. They fired like 5,000 rounds to a 1911 and they kept shooting. That's how they tested them. But I guess somewhere they must have left that part out where they tied it behind a Model T and drove around the field with it. I'm sorry. I know I go on rants, but really I'm on YouTube and I get to say something on some, a popular YouTube channel about the stupidity of testing your firearm by dragging it behind a vehicle. I'm not impressed. Drag the operator behind the vehicle and then give him a brand new firearm and see how well he shoots it. That makes more sense.
I would watch that Nothing Fancy video.
I watched all 45 minutes of that Nothing Fancy.
Oh, man. 45 minutes? That's a short one. Here's a new Glock, and here's an hour-and-a-half episode about it.
With a lot of
so if you guys are
shooting it badly.
If you guys are interested, go to muletac.com, muletac.com. It is what it is. If you're a mule and you're listening to this, let's just say that there's no such thing as bad publicity, and leave it there. So the next one, we're kind of warming up a little bit. We started off with things that were just kind of bad, and we're getting to more of the plausible, like, this might be exciting, might be useful or not. So this one we got here is from 511. I just saw it this week. Apparently it was an April Fool's joke once where they were like, we're going to do a tactical kilt, and people responded so well, the kilt community responded so well, that I guess seasonally they release a tactical duty kilt. So it's $80 if you're interested in it. I don't know if did we mention the MSRP of that mule stock? It's $180. So I don't think we mentioned that. So that mule stock was $180 MSRP. If that's not alone to convince you to buy it. So anyway, backtrack to the this tactical kilt from 511 Tactical. I'm not a kilt guy. I lived in Seattle for a while, and the Utilikilt is really popular among a very select few. And there's a lot of people that mock the tactical guy or the Utilikilt guys. And there's some people that wear them and absolutely love them. Not one of them. So anyway, 511's got a tactical duty kilt in a couple different colors: battle brown, black, multicam, storm, TDU green, and TDU khaki. The multicam one, man, that's a party right there.
It's a seizure. I will put the caveat early. I am a kilt owner. I made my own.
The right way?
Well, I made kind of a modernish one, but yeah, I sewed for days.
So you're gonna buy one of these tactical duty kilts then?
Well, what I'm leading into is that $80 for this
is not bad.
Is not bad because once all the fabric is said and done, and the Velcro and like the this and the that and the odds and the ends, I spent about like $40 to $50 on like just raw materials pretty much. So to get this with like nice pockets and like beefy belt loops and like the fancy buttony things in the front, it's not bad for $80. But what you won't have is the custom fit that a kilt really needs.
What custom fit does a kilt need?
Well, a kilt.
Explain that to me.
A kilt, you're supposed to wear it about at your navel, slightly lower than that. And there's a difference between the measurement of that, your waistline, and the fattest part of your butt. And so you need to taper that. And the taper is different for each person.
Jeez, I'm learning about
Okay,
kilts.
I'll go ahead and say it. It's a dude in a dress, and the only dude in a dress I'm willing to watch is Wendy Williams. Okay? That's it.
Hey, it's comfortable. It's freeing.
I'm not even going to ask you the question that I'm sure everyone has on their
He
mind right
goes
now.
commando.
No, I wear Under Armour. I wear Under Armour underneath it.
I'm gonna go as far as saying that I do know somebody who has something very similar. It might be one of the utility kilts, and he has worn it to a few, shooting matches, and he swears by it. So,
well, that was kind of the thing. I was like, hey, I kind of want to try a kilt. I don't want to spend all this money to buy one. Let me try to get, a project out of it. And I enjoy creating things with my hands, so I'm like, let me try to knock one of these things out. And it came out pretty good. I was like, oh, I want to get to some shooting matches this summer. Like, it gets hot out there.
I'm gonna go with my last name is Wallace, and I have no intention of ever getting a kilt.
Yeah, my Scottish ancestors would be really upset at me if I wore one also.
Well, I mean, as far as kilts go, I mean, this isn't really a fails and is just a little bit goofy and unorthodox for most people. But if you're a kilt aficionado and you're also in the firearms community and you like to go to the range, you like having apparel that has utility to it, so you can put your magazines and whatnot on your person. This looks like a pretty decent setup. I mean, they got front slat pockets with reinforced edges, cargo pockets that hold 2 30-round AR magazines or 3 pistol magazines. The cargo pockets can be switched from one side to another, how does that work out? How do you switch pockets from one side to another?
There's a different video I saw on YouTube where basically I think the pockets snap onto the kilt and those flaps come down and cover it.
That's
I don't know.
interesting.
There's certain aspects of modularity. There's D-rings, so you could hang pouches, a tactical sporan, if you will.
Mm.
I don't know. It seems like fun, though. It really does.
Yeah,
it seems like it would be fun.
Yeah, the belt loops are pretty robust. They can accommodate an 1 3/4 operator belts. So if you wanted to actually put one of those belts that you can hang your holsters on, who makes those? Everyone makes those. Black Hawk.
Everyone makes those, yeah.
Like an instructor's belt or a rigger's belt.
Yeah. So this could be your 3-gun competing kilt if you wanted it to be.
Right. Totally.
The video promoting this is actually hilarious. You guys have to watch it.
Oh, yeah.
It's got 2.
That's a great video.
Yeah, it's got 2 operator guys. They're wearing the kilt, and they're basically they're messaging each other on their smartphones, and they're sending each other pictures and video, trying to outdo each other. Like, hey, check it out! I'm running this while shooting my pistol, and the other guy gets it, and then he tries to step it up by watch me run my carbine with it. And then they get into vehicles, dune buggies, and big, heavy equipment. And then, there's a guy rappelling down a training wall, and the camera has to be, of course, from the ground's point of view.
This guy's jumping over a cactus.
Yeah, jumping over a cactus and pixelating anything that you might see, implying that they're going commando. Ultimately, skydiving with the kilt and parachuting to the ground. So it's a really funny video to watch, especially one guy's clearly got some Scottish in him. He's got a big red beard that's kind of connected to some chopper sideburns. Yeah, this might be up your alley. If I got one of these as a joke, I'd laugh and I'd kind of secretly go in the bathroom and put it on and go, yeah, I don't think I'll ever wear this in public, but this is nice.
Yeah.
I would wear this if I lived in the middle of nowhere and I wasn't ashamed of being mocked by other people, and I just wanted to have something utilitarian and freeing. I would totally rock this, and I say that to you guys with confidence.
I noticed under their specifications, you go down the list, but it's 511 sport boxer briefs available separately but not required. So. I guess.
I think that they definitely are following in the tongue-in-cheek vibe of the inception of this idea.
Oh yeah.
And I just think it's fun. I enjoyed making mine, even though it's not a tactical duty kilt. I'm a proponent of kilts. Try them. It's not an everyday thing. It's certainly not everyday wear, but it's cool because it's fun. A lot of times you're kind of. Every day you put your pants on the same way. Oh, today I'm strapping up a kilt because you know what? I need to be free.
I just wear cargo shorts.
So
for me.
When you put your kilt on, do you start singing "I Feel Pretty, Oh So Pretty"? Oh,
no, I hear the theatrical score to Braveheart playing in the background, and I start painting my face as I walk out the door.
Oh, okay.
All right, so let's get real here. When you have to use the John, what do you do with a kilt?
Oh, okay.
Oh, you just hike it up. You
just hike it up. Hike it up. All right, I had to know.
Yeah, because the way you put a kilt on is it wraps around you. You don't pull it up like a pair of pants.
Okay.
Or at least most kilts. I don't know how this one's designed, how you put it on, but most kilts, because there's I'm not going to get too technical about the construction and design features, but basically you wrap it around you, so it would kind of be a pain in the ass to take it on and off every time you need to use the John, so you just hike it up.
Okay. So if you wanted
it just sounds like something fun to wear.
Yeah, if you wanted to wear a garter belt and have an inside the thigh holster, and carry conceal that way, you totally could.
Oh my gosh, that's a good idea.
Is it? Is it really?
Well, I mean, you just reach down, grab that hem, yank it up. Oh, that's a quick draw.
I think just the motion of you reaching down there and pulling it aside, the assailants would drop the guns and go, whoa, 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 okay, I give up, I give up.
An assailant will be so caught off guard by that action that they wouldn't, you'd have that extra second needed to defend yourself.
Yeah.
Tactical duty kilts are lifesavers.
Oh, that's awesome.
Sam just started
you know what? I was barely hanging on. I was hanging on, with the kilt going, hey, it's okay. But once you said garter belt, yeah, bro. You lost me. You lost me.
All right. So 511 Tactical's website, you guys check out their tactical duty kilt. It's going to be the fashion for this summer. I can already see it.
Yeah, and I think it rolls quite nicely with your next item, Ryan.
It does? Oh, well, yeah. Well, that's after the main topic, my review. Yeah, it'll go well with the Tech Gadget or app item. So just stay tuned for that. So anyway, this week I'm reviewing the Pelican 1750 long case. Yeah, this is definitely not a tactical fail or a tacta fail. This is a tacta win for sure. But it was the review I had going on this week. It's really hard to show on camera because it is a long case and it's heavy. So I've got it behind me, and for demonstration purposes of the smaller features, I actually have a 1500 case too. So basically, Pelican cases are kind of like the cornerstone, the premium of the gun case market. Really putting to effect the phrase, bang for your buck. There's a lot of bucks that go into buying a Pelican case, and that might be what turned a lot of people off to it. The 1750 MSRPs for $387.95. You can get them on the street much cheaper than that. Retail on Amazon, they got a black one for under $200, $197.76. You can find them at I picked mine up at a local store for about $230, $240. They're very high quality cases that I would argue are some of the best on the market for preserving your firearm, and are really ideal for if you're traveling. So just go through the features and benefits while I explain why they're so great. The shell construction is made out of polypropylene, and inside it's got a 1.3 pound polyurethane foam. The latches, I actually have a latch right here to show you guys. So it's made out of ABS. It's kind of a dual construction, so the outside of the latch, this part is made out of the same polypropylene as the shell, and the actual latch part that's hinged, this is what they call this, a double throw latch system. This is made out of ABS. They're watertight, they're crush proof, and they're dust proof. They have a purge valve on it, so it kind of can automatically equals out the pressure from the inside and the outside. The latches are double throw, so they're a little bit easier to latch on there, but they're definitely not easy to rip off accidentally. Like, you would be really hard pressed if you were, I don't know, a TSA luggage monkey, and you were throwing this into onto a bunch of other bags. It's not going to pop these latches open. They're really nicely designed. And I'm going to say TSA luggage monkey quite a lot, because that's kind of the advantage to buying the Pelican cases, is because traveling with a firearm is kind of sketchy business if you don't have a good case. A case that you can put locks on, of course, TSA approved locks, so they can inspect if they need to. But the guys that are throwing these things onto the luggage carts, onto the baggage claims, seems like they're rough. And if they're having a bad day, or if they're just anti-gun and they think you got a gun in there and they want it, or they just want to, ruin your day, they will throw it. I bet you if you had a secure camera, candidly, you'd be surprised what they do to some cases. While the Pelican case isn't indestructible, because they could, with enough force, potentially crack the shell. It takes a lot of work. So anyway, get back to the features and benefits. It's got This one is pretty heavy. It's 25 pounds, like with nothing in it. So it's good that it has wheels, because when you've got this thing filled with a rifle that can weigh up to 10 pounds, you're definitely going to be wanting to wheel it around if you're traveling and you've got a surface that facilitates wheels. So that's really nice. Stainless steel hardware and padlock protectors. So there's these little padlock protectors right here that basically someone can't, like, take a hammer and basically beat the material around your padlock to just remove the lock entirely without trying to pick it. It does have a 3-piece foam set on the inside that's not pluck and pull. So if you want to customize that foam, you're going to have to cut it yourself, and I'll give you guys a really quick way of how I did it. They got a lifetime guarantee. The dimensions of the 1750 case, this is a really popular case for people that have a long gun, like a bolt gun, with a long barrel and even possibly a muzzle brake on there to really add the overall length, or people that like travel to do competitions and they want to be able to put a AR-15 and a shotgun in the same case. You could be able to do that with this case because the size facilitates that. So the interior dimensions are 15.5 inches long by 13.5 inches wide and 5.25 inches deep. So the exterior, adds a few inches onto that. So, it's 53 inches long total, 16 inches wide, and 6.12 inches deep. The purge vent's got a 3-micron hydrophobic non-woven PET. I don't know what all that means. It's got a really nice purge vent on there. And stainless steel pins. I'm assuming those are the hinges. You can get it in different colors: black, tan, and OD green. This 1500 case is their tan color, and behind me is the OD green. They've always got like a nice Pelican branded label on there that's laminated. The outside construction on the lid has kind of these raised ridges that are rounded, so they're not going to really scuff up on anything. But what's nice is you can actually stencil or with paint, a label, or just a marker, your initials or any kind of identifier in between these channels. And these raised ridges are going to help that stay, not get worn out when you're dragging it across the bed of your truck or anything like that. So I just took Sharpie and I put my last name on this case. And on the one behind me, I actually made a stencil and spray painted my last name. I don't know if you could see that right there. So that's a really nice feature that I like. Let's see what other people are saying. There's a Midway review says, I have 2 of these 1750s, bought one for my .338 Lapua Magnum rifle. I did not want to pay the Pelican prices for some shorter rifles, so I tried a bunch of other brands. I ended up buying another Pelican 1750 anyway. The other brands work okay for half the price, but they do not compare in sturdiness or in the latch functionality. I also like the fact that Pelican does not use pluck-out foam, which always looks terrible. Pelican's foam is solid, and you can use a special reciprocating saw blade for foam to make a perfect custom rifle cutout. You can also cut out any shape you want, for the bolt, for removing the bolt from the action, for magazines, for tools, for, ammunition boxes, that kind of thing. The other reviews from Amazon.com, he says, a lot of people don't think that you need to spend this kind of money on a case, but take it from me, it matters. I've been shooting competitively for years now, and nothing is worse than buying a cheap case and having to completely reset your optics after a flight. Spend the money up front, or waste time afterwards just getting back to square one, meaning his 0 on his reticle. This is my 3rd Pelican case, so now I don't have to switch out the inserts when I bring different setups. By switching the foam inserts, it's a way to save money if you want. Also, if you're looking for a double firearm case for an AR-15 style weapon system, you can usually do it with this case. Although if you're going to try and put 2 20-inch barrel AR-15s, it's going to be a little tight. Also, be careful cutting the foam. Make sure you have the exact layout of how you want it before you start cutting, or you can end up with a real mess. So like I said, MSRP of $387.95, retail of about between $200, $250. I've got the affiliate link if you want to purchase it from Brownells or Amazon on there. So I give it an overall rating of 9 because they're amazing cases. In fact, I never owned one because of the price. Finally, I think for my last birthday this last year, my girlfriend has, pretty much said, "Well, what do you want? Just tell me and I'll get it. And here's my price range." So I was like, "Oh yeah, I want a Pelican case. Let's, get me into that." She bought me this, and I kid you not even a couple months later, I had 2 more Pelican cases in different sizes because I just found it to be so much more convenient. So yeah, 9.0, the foam is denser than most other cases, which makes it easier to cut and more supportive. So it's not that soft foam that you could push down to the surface with your pinky. It's really dense foam, which also makes it easier to cut too, because it's gives you the resistance to make nice clean cuts, and if you want to do angles or whatnot. The dual reinforced padlock points are really nice. The shelves raised edges, so your stenciling and labeling kind of lasts longer because it's not going to be rubbing up when it's lying face down. And also the latches are really easy to use and secure, and they don't pop open or just accidentally. The cons, it's really heavy. Actually, it's 25.5 pounds, like not filled at all. So you imagine 25.5 pounds. The rifle I have in there right now is probably about 9-10 pounds. So that's pretty heavy. And there's also no instructions for cutting the foam. The only thing, it comes with a little product pamphlet, and then also some instructions for sending in some money and having a custom nameplate made that you could have glued on there. So it'd be really nice if they came with instructions on how to cut it. Whoever's making that noise, knock it off. Someone adjusting? All right. So if they made some designed templates that you could order and then just lay out on the foam and kind of follow that with your saw, that would be really nice. But they don't do that. So anyway, cutting it out. Let me guys tell you how I did it. So I laid out my rifle and the bolt, and my rifle had a bottom metal that had the scope on there, and it had a bipod. And so then there's all... Seriously, someone's moving stuff around. I don't mean to be nitpicking about that. Cool. So anyway, I have a rifle that sometimes it's suppressed, sometimes it's not. Sometimes I just put the muzzle brake on there. So I cut it out to be adaptive for that. So if I don't want to pack the suppressor, I actually have that insert I can just put back in the foam cutout. And if I leave this suppressor on there, I just pull that foam insert off, and then my whole rifle, which is a Remington 700 AAC-SD, it's a 20-inch barrel, and then I've got like a 9-inch suppressor on there. So the overall length just fits perfectly in this case, from end to end. So anyway, I laid out my items on the foam how I wanted, except I do it in reverse because I'm going to be doing some things to the foam that I might not want shown visibly. So I do it on the reverse side. Take a pen, like a Sharpie. Actually, first what you want to do is you want to take blue masking tape or just regular masking tape and lay it out, kind of trace it with the tape, and then when you take your pen, you can draw on the tape itself. And the reason why I do that is because when I've traced all the items on the tape that's stuck on the foam, I take an X-Acto knife and I actually cut out, I kind of choke in like an 1/8 of an inch or a 1/16 of an inch inside that marked line, because I don't want the hole that I'm cutting out to be loose. I want it to be a little bit tighter. I kind of want it to hug the rifle so it doesn't have any room to jostle around. So by doing it this way, I'm actually measuring the outline of the rifle and then cutting in a little bit. So you basically take that knife and very shallowly, very shallow in the tape, so you're not cutting in the foam. You're trimming out a little mask inside that. So then you peel that all off, and that tape line that you just cut is your guideline for your saw. Most guys, if you look up YouTube videos, they'll say use an electric knife like a turkey cutter. That works. You've got to make sure that you keep it parallel because it'll be very easy for you to start cutting at an angle. So for that reason, I bought myself a jigsaw, just a cheap skill jigsaw for like 30 bucks, and then made sure I had that blade that was long enough to go through the foam because the foam's thick. So you got to make sure that your blade can at least cut something that's 2 inches thick. And because the jigsaw has that scrolling surface, it actually automatically keeps it perpendicular, and so you're cutting through the foam, and you're making a nice 90-degree angle. You're not making an angle. The surface of the foam, you're making straight down cuts. So I basically just used the jigsaw, and I went around, and that was it. So you could actually, if you wanted to, kind of poke the foam out a little bit and spray glue, because the foam insert, if you leave it in there, it's kind of a nice support. So then you can spray that underside with 3M adhesive, flip it around to the orientation that you wanted it to, if you want your rifle pointing left to right, and then you put it in there and let that glue dry. So that way when you're pulling your items out, because you've made it a little bit snugger by doing that masking tape step, the foam's not going to rip up with it. So that's pretty much what I did. Also, like what I did, if I cut out a relief, like an L shape for the bolt. Obviously the foam's almost 2 inches thick. I don't want to be trying to fish out my bolt handle out of 2 inches of foam. I actually took that relief, that cutout that I made, and I took just a regular knife and I sawed it in half, and then I re-put it back in that hole, so it kind of made a little bit of an elevated or a shallower hole. So that makes it a lot easier to retrieve the bolt when it's not buried so deep in the foam. So you can do that with other things too. If you cut out just a large triangle square and you want to put like your magazines in it, if you've got like box magazines or whatever, you can cut that relief that you've made in half or in a third or whatever size you want it, put it back, and it makes a shallower hole for any of your stuff. So I got pictures on the Firearms Insider of just kind of what I did with that foam with the tape step. I used thumbtacks to kind of keep that tape down because the painter's tape didn't really stick too well. Masking tape would probably do a better job of staying down. And then you can kind of see what the hole I cut out made looks like. Also one thing to note is the thickness of, if you've got a scope with with 3 turrets, basically, you've got your elevation, your windage turret, and then maybe a parallax adjustment turret. You're going to have your windage knob, if it's a big turret, kind of protruding into the foam in the top lid. So I kind of like closed the case down, waited a couple minutes, and then pulled it up, and then I could see an indent to where that turret was jabbing into the top lid. So then I cut a little circle out of that, cut that foam in half and shoved it back in there. So I basically made a relief cut for my scope turret. Now that is a little bit so customized to this rifle that it makes it a little impractical to put other items in there too. I have another Remington 700 that's a long action that almost fits the same profile, but not quite. So if you want your case to be a little bit more universal for 2 or 3 rifles in your collection, you might not want to go through all that steps. You might want to make just a very broad wedge shape for you to put your rifle in. Just know that you're going to lose your protection and your kind of insurance for if you're zeroed a rifle, you packed it up, you went through the traveling system, and your rifle could get knocked off 0 if it's got wiggle room to move around inside that case. So that's basically it. I mean, I made a nice little slot for my rangefinder too, so I almost have my whole range kit inside the case. It does make it heavy, but I just throw that thing in the back of the truck, the back of my pick-me-up truck, and I'm good to go. So I really like the case. The advantages of getting there's a couple different sizes. So obviously the 1750 is pretty much one of the longer cases you can get. You can get one that's a little bit thicker. This is the 1500. I can actually crack this open. This actually did have pluck and pull foam, so the 1750 does not, but the smaller cases do. So here's a good visual for you guys. It's kind of hard to juggle this thing, but you can see I made slots out of the plug and pull where you can put pistols of different sizes, and then I also have square holes where you can stick your magazines vertically upside down. So I've basically got enough room here for, let's see, 6, 8, 9 or 10 magazines, and then I've got 5 slots for different pistols. So this makes it really handy to bring multiple pistols to the range. But the beauty of the pluck and pull smaller cases, which I probably won't do a review on. Here's a picture, an image of the purge valve on that front, and then here's basically what the hinges look like on all the cases.
Actually, I'm on the computer.
So, anyway, if you guys are interested in checking out Pelican cases, you can usually find them at major big stores. Any tactical gun shop usually will have some Pelican cases in there. I would definitely vouch for them. I would say that if you want one for your long rifle, take in consideration the weight of it, if it's going to suit your needs. If you're not physically able to lift a 30-pound plus rifle case, this probably wouldn't be the one for you. Anyway, what do you guys think?
I'm jealous.
Pelican cases are something that you stated it a couple times is it's the weight versus utility, and I don't really travel. If I was ever going to travel like on a hunting trip or whatever, if I was ever going to fly with a gun, I'd go buy a Pelican.
Mm-hmm.
But for going to the range, I just don't need it, and they're heavy. You know, it's not a weekly, range runner option for me. Like, I can lift a 50-pound case if I had to, but I just don't want to.
I've basically got this case for my hunting rifle, my 308, that, I went through the investment of having, a good stock put on there and a good rifle scope and good rings, and this is just kind of all insurance. It's like buying a good safe. Not something cheap that's, it's not really like for security purposes, even though it is pretty secure. It's really more for peace of mind. Like if you throw it in the back of your truck and you are going out hunting and you hit some, the pavement or the blacktop ends and you start hitting some rough terrain, you don't have to worry about your rifle. It's like, not even a concern because it's in this kind of nice, robust platform that's pretty militarized. But yeah, like you said, it's really, if you're the guy that's the weekend warrior, you're not taking it hunting, you just need to take it to the range and back, this is definitely probably not worth it to you. You're not going to really get the most benefits out of it because it's going to be freaking heavy. So, but yeah, they're militarized cases. This is pretty much what some military. I'm not really knowledgeable, but I know that for like carrying optics and sensitive instruments, usually they can put it in one of these Pelican cases.
Yeah, and like you said, Ryan, I could see where throwing it in the back of your truck and not having to worry about it would be a big thing. Like some of the places we go over shooting east of the mountain, some of the washboarded roads just beat the hell out of everything. Mm-hmm. So, you could basically test a scope just by mounting it in your pickup bed and driving down one of those roads.
Yeah, and I'll be doing a review actually on the Pelican 1200, which is a much smaller case, something that you would kind of more use for like a camera. I actually pulled the pluck and pull foam out so that it fit my chronograph and the rods and the hoods for when you assemble it. It all fits in a nice small package, so that'll probably be the next review I do. So that's something you guys can look forward to is, well, okay, I don't have a big old rifle, but maybe I'm a photographer, or, I want something to put my more sensitive electronics in that's going to be waterproof, shockproof, and dustproof, so stay tuned for that.
Sweet.
Yep. So, Sam, did you bring, or you're going to talk about something today?
Yeah, I have, it was, I got one of these iPad cases sent to me. It's the Urban Armor Gear Their website is urbanarmorgear.com. I got the Folio, which is for the iPad Air 2, and I got black, which they call Scout. The red one is called Rogue. They have kind of like a weird modeling, coloring sort of system going on. But basically, I'm kind of run through the 8 key points that we usually do. The claim to fame: it protects your technology. You know, iPads, iPhones, they're not cheap. You kind of want something to kind of give it that extra fighting chance. The target market would be smartphone and tablet users. Features and benefits include lightweight design, free access to all buttons and ports, water resistance. It has a smart cover where it turns off your iPad when you close it. It wakes it back up when you open it. A lot of good stuff on Amazon. A couple of 2- and 3-star type reviews where it was basically not exactly what people were looking for. You know, like they thought it was something it wasn't. That sort of just kind of consumer confusion. You know, these go for $50 from the manufacturer's website, but as sold by the manufacturer on Amazon, they're like $10 less, which I found kind of strange. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but you can get these. The shipping from the manufacturer is really fast. I got mine in like 3 days, and on Amazon, it's a Prime eligible item. So if you're a Prime member, you know you get free 2-day shipping on it. So that's pretty cool. I said that the pros are it's not overly bulky. It allows unimpeded use of the Touch ID. So if you have an iPhone 5S, I don't know if it's on the 5s. Yeah, it's a 5S or newer, or an iPad Air 2, and you have the Touch ID. I had a life proof on my iPhone 5S, and sometimes that film that was over the home button would make entering your thumbprint tricky sometimes. So there's nothing to get in between that. You could easily get to all your ports as necessary to use your peripherals. It does give you a slight increase in water resistance, where if it's splashed by something, you have, you know, something covering most of it, but it's not a waterproof case. You know, there's the charging port, the headphone jack, like everything's open. The smart cover, you know, and the way that the cover secures with the magnetic strap is really tight and secure. It's lightweight. The only con I found is I typically will use my iPad in bed, like falling asleep, watching something on Netflix. So I'll have it kind of angled. And the old stand I had it more of like a perpendicular angle, which worked better for me. And this is kind of a little more oblique angle. So the stand is designed, like the stand function of the case is designed with like 3 positions, and they're not quite perpendicular enough for my taste, but it definitely holds it there sturdy. Like that's not an issue. It's just it's not something I was used to. I give it an 8. They're really well constructed, and the level of quality and protection that it is going to afford you for the price point and its weight is an incredible value in my opinion. I just bought a new case for my phone, but I would certainly consider getting one of their iPhone cases if I ever wanted to replace my current case, because they're sharp looking, and like the texture on the case is really nice. Like it definitely is. It's like grippy without being tacky, if that makes sense. And yeah, it's a good all-around case. I give it an 8, and yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Oh,
Go ahead, Ryan.
I was just gonna ask, are those torque screws on the back, or is that for show?
Okay, I didn't make note of this, and I am gonna put it in my full review. It's style. It's tactical, ruggedy looking. In that sense, they're non-functional. It's molded to look like that, which on an iPad, it's not exactly the aesthetic I'm going for, but it's like detail, but without detail, you know what I mean? Because like it's just molded into it.
Hmm.
They're not serving a purpose, but
Yeah, I was gonna say it's nice that they started making them with the texture on them because most of their phone cases, I actually have one, and even though I really like the case, except it's smooth, and so it would slip out of my hand. Like your iPad Air case isn't. They put a texture on them, but some of their phone cases are still smooth. And I put grip tape on the edges of mine so that it won't slide out of my hand. But they're basically the same design. So, and I really like the case also, even though it's a little bit different. But, they're that's the only drawback I saw with their phone cases where they're pretty slick. There's no real grippiness to them.
like I said, the grippiness is really good. And another factor that I really, really like about this case is a lot of times, in order to keep cases as minimal as possible, the way they secure around the front of the screen can sometimes be finicky, and they don't always like stay put, and they kind of like come off, and you kind of keep clicking it back in place. You know what I'm kind of talking about?
Yeah.
Like the corners that hold it in. This is like it's as minimal as possible and has an incredibly secure hold around the whole thing. Like it's really good design in that regard.
My phone case does the same thing. I don't know about the iPad ones, but the way they design their buttons also is pretty nice, I thought. Because like on my phone, it's like it's actually better than using the phone without the case on it.
Well, actually, on this, you're able to reach through the case and push the buttons.
Oh, okay. Yeah, on the
I
phone.
know what you're trying to say though, because I saw some of their phone cases and they did had like a good tactile sensation on them. It looked like they'd be good buttons.
Yeah, they work really well as compared to. I had a Magpul case, and like with those, you got to like reef down on the buttons to get them to actually do something. And with these, they're just normal buttons. You just push them.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely turn to them for my next technological case need.
Yep. Yeah, I liked mine too. Like I said, that being slick was the only flaw I could find in them, really. And trust me, I've pretty much thrown it across my floor onto the hardwood floor, and it survived on the tile, so it's done its job.
Cool. Any other questions?
No, I'm jealous. I came into a possession of an iPad, like iPad Generation 2, so it's not an Air, it's not a Mini. And I was super jealous that Urban Armor Gear did not make a case for that older generation of iPads. So actually was pretty interested. I was hoping that, because I saw you added this to the show notes, I was like, wait, we're not making fun of this, right? Like it's actually
No. This is again like yours. It's not a make fun of entry. It's a real entry.
Yeah, no, I like that. I'm glad that somebody that I know has one of these. Because if I ever get a new device, like a 5 or a 6, I'll definitely want to take a look at these cases.
Cool.
Yep. So now onto the Tech Gadget or app, the kind of segment that we've been teasing about. We found another funny product to tell you guys about, and these are the Bright Strike tactical balls. That's right, I said tactical balls. So what these are little lighted orbs that run on CR2032 batteries, and they're basically improvised flashbang devices, sort of. They're non-explosive illumination, deterrent, distraction things. Can someone else tell them, like,
just stop?
Just stop.
It's like when Joe Biden said the only gun you need is like a shotgun, like ever, or whatever he said as far as like defending yourself. Like all you need is a double barrel shotgun, or it's like someone's like, no, you don't need a flashbang. You just need this ball that has a light on it.
So they're called RID3, and RID stands for Rolling Illuminated Distraction and Disorientation. So basically, you would carry these in a tactical ball sack, if you will. And these orbs that are shockproof and waterproof and super bright, they've got 2 white LEDs. I'm trying to see if they give a measurement in lumens or candela or anything like that. Basically, they're intended to. They say that they're never intended to replace flashbangs. And they give the scenario that if you're breaching into a suspected meth lab or an area that has, there's intelligence that there's some flammable material inside, tactical balls are the better answer because they're not going to ignite said flammable material. So okay, I'll give them that. So some people are asking them why they don't make a strobe feature. And the answer is that you do not want to be looking at a strobe light when you enter the room because it'll basically disorient you as well. So when you throw this thing into the room, the spin and the wobble that's built into the ball, it's a globe shape, it's going to roll as balls do. It's going to basically create that strobe effect, but when it bumps into something and basically stops rolling, it gives you time to enter the room without basically blinding yourself with strobes. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking at these things going, are they actually going to work? I mean, I can just kind of toss a flashlight in there and it'll spin around and do the same thing. And the other thing, since they come with a tactical ball sack, how come they give you 3 of them and you'd think they'd only want 2? But, I guess...
Yeah, but it's RID3.
Yeah, okay.
3.
Okay. But, you could strap them to your leg under your tactikilt.
That's true, and you could have a laser light show in your undercarriage. I was looking on their website. I don't know if you guys saw this product, the Bright Blade. I put a link in the show note right under the picture for these.
No, but I'll go check it out now.
It's a knife with a built-in small flashlight available in white or red.
Unfortunately, SOG makes a light in a flashlight also.
So you can see what you're stabbing?
I guess. I don't know.
Oh.
Okay.
It looks like it makes the knife cumbersome and you unable to actually use a what, half lumen tiny little flashlight. There's no reflective it's just there's no lens on it to give you light. It's just like one LED. You got LED on a knife.
So, hey, Tony, we had to mute you because you were making some noise earlier, but we can't seem to unmute you. So if you click on basically the microphone that's got a line through it at the top of the screen, when you hover your mouse over there, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Hey, there he is.
Awesome, because we want to hear what you got to say about these tactical balls, man.
All right. I looked up the tactical balls because, again, I take this seriously. I want to find out about these tactical balls. So I went on Amazon, and I was like, all right, I'll be real about this. Now look at what other people had to really say. Wow, that's a lot of 4-star reviews on something. That is some of the best reviews ever written, tongue-in-cheek, Saturday Night Live style I've ever read in my life about tactical balls. Because these people put in time to come up with ways to say fondle balls over and over again. I mean, just read the 4-star reviews on Amazon about this product is awesome. But then when I went to their website and I was looking at it and it was talking about it has, what is it? The light output is 13,000 MCDs. Well,
They made that up. They made that unit up.
No. MCDs is actually a real unit of measurement when it comes to light. and it translates into 1 lumen, and it requires some kind of mathematical formula in which you have to know what angle the light. I'm like, wait a minute, there's an easier way to say lumen, so obviously this is garbage. So I went hunting for videos. So there's some guy with airsoft, and he's playing an airsoft game, and he rolls this friggin' lit marble through a room which no one paid attention to and shot him. It doesn't have a lot of lumens, so it's not distracting at all other than, hey, there's something rolling across the floor. And I also read their description with if you have a meth lab with stuff that's flammable. Well, if stuff's flammable and you just threw a flashlight in the room, you're running into the room behind the flashlight with a gun.
Well, no, the other thing is this is not intrinsically safe. It's potentially sparking in itself. Just because it's not a giant flaming bowl doesn't mean that it can't potentially emit a spark, especially since you're throwing it. You're potentially breaking the connection between the batteries. There's a potential for static discharge as it hits other surfaces. I mean, what do you guys think? Is this 100% tongue in cheek, or someone's actually trying to push this bull plop?
I think they're actually trying to push this stuff.
You think so?
I do.
Every product they have is barely legitimate. Everything I was looking at was like, what is this trash? Like, you have to think really hard. Did you see the camp lights that you stick to a tree? You missed that one?
The traffic control light up gloves.
No. There's little sticky things about 2 inches long and about 1.5 inches wide, and you press in the middle, and it actually has a small LED that blinks on and off, and you can change the speed of the blink. For when you go camping at night and you need to find your tent, you can stick one of these on top of your tent, and the light will blink, and you can like leave breadcrumbs, but instead of breadcrumbs, it's these blinky lights. I'm like, really? Seriously? What? Okay. I mean, just everything you have to go, seriously? Are you out of your mind? And they have a flashlight that's 200 lumens. You saw that, right? The flashlight with the tail switch?
No, I missed that one.
It's a $200 MSRP on a 190 lumen light. Are you out? I can... Walmart, like $49. I'm just saying. Every one of their products are overpriced and iffy. Iffy. And this sack of balls, you have to have a real sack of balls to actually sell this to somebody. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, I did read some reviews that somebody who claimed to actually be in a profession where they are clearing rooms and whatnot. Sometimes if it's a room that the lights are shut off or power's out, they'll take a flashlight, turn it on, and toss it into the room so it's it's spinning in the air to kind of disorient whoever's ever in there, and then you do your business, it's lighting up kind of one angle of the room, and then you can just pick it up afterwards. So I mean, I guess there are people that appreciate having something that's a non-explosive illumination device to just disorient people, but to me this kind of screams a terrible idea, like bulletproof backpacks or bulletproof like whiteboards. This seems like something that they would mandate in schools for like an active shooter scenario. Like, oh God, someone's got a gun! Quick, throw the tactical balls at him.
Well, no, I like the principle. But it looks like the whole ball itself, right? You only have about maybe a third or less than that of the surface area being the illuminated part. So what if that falls in the corner and it's pointed into the corner? If you had the whole thing emitting light, or at least two ends of it emitting light.
Yeah.
I think it's like, that's why I'm saying like this has to be tongue-in-cheek, because it's not a very good design. But then you look at their other products and you're like, what is this trash? It's like, I don't even know what to do with this company.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Well, it's got a runtime of up to 20 hours. In case you forgot your tactical ball somewhere, you can come get it 20 hours later. It'll still be blinking.
They got stamina.
Yeah. And they also have an infrared model. So if you want your tactical balls to only be seen by those who have night vision goggles, they have an infrared version.
See, I thought that was pretty cool as a marker. I think that's not bad. Like that, I saw the IR and I was like, okay. But
my question is this. I mean, I'm sorry, it's a distraction device. So if it's IR, distraction device,
well, no, the
do I
IR,
run in a room with somebody with MVGs?
The IR is for marking.
Okay,
like
gotcha.
The most tactical
now,
game
but here's the other thing.
All I've ever seen.
They don't mention it's like impact resistance or anything. So like, I could probably whip this thing a good. I don't know. I haven't really thrown a ball in a long time, but 50 to 70 yards maybe I could get this thing going. Is it going to survive that throw? What if you throw hardwood onto concrete?
Well, their 30-day guarantee says it can't even show any signs of damage or they won't cover it. So, no.
So, no.
Yeah, I told you I looked into it.
Jeez, you looked into it way more than anybody else.
Yeah, I looked way into this sack of balls. I'm uncomfortable at how deeply I looked into this sack of balls. Matter of fact, I want to take it all back. Can we delete this?
Nope.
You looked into the heart of the monster.
They do sort of look like they
the internet. It'll go away.
Yeah, right. They look like they can be repackaged and sold in like Bed Bath & Beyond or one of those as seen on TV stores as just a globe flashlight. You know, I don't know why.
A palm flashlight.
A palm flashlight. Or like, you know, you want to play Pokemon or something and throw this across the room at night with your kids.
Yeah.
Roll it under the bed to make sure there's no monsters.
Yeah, what's the MSRP on this again?
So if you want the tactical balls, it comes in a set of 3 in that tactical ball sack. That's going to run you $60 for that 3-pack. And they do have the night vision, but they don't list the price because it's sold to law enforcement and military only. So that's disappointing because that would make a really fun game of night baseball if everyone was playing with NV goggles and throwing these around. But yeah, so $60 for a 3-pack. I don't know, man. It seems goofy to me.
They tried everything in these ads to make this thing seem legitimate, except used by Navy SEALs. That's the only thing I don't see in that.
Which makes me think like maybe they are actually trying to like be legit about this because they didn't throw that Navy SEAL drop out there. You know, the Navy SEAL drop usually tells you it's BS. Like to the unknowing, when you see Navy SEAL approved or designed or created or invented,
used by,
you know it's trash.
Oh. It's used by the Special Forces community. Yeah. Okay, right. You bagged up a bunch of them and you sent them down to like Fort Hood or Fayetteville. Yeah, to Fort Benning. And yeah, they threw them out. Can you imagine what the mail room at the Special Forces unit looks like? Just all of this crap coming in just so they can say they sent it to them?
Yeah, I think it would be more disorienting if it emitted some sort of like sound that just totally caught you off guard.
Yeah, they should have one with a sound chip that has Hillary Clinton speaking.
Yeah.
What difference does it make?
Yeah.
Anyway, if you, for whatever reason, want to see these for yourself, go to Bright Strike's website, bright-strike.com, and then just look under products for tactical balls.
That's Bright, B-R-I-T-E.
Yes.
Because they're edgy.
Yeah, like light bright. Yeah. Edgy like light bright.
Yeah, because if you type in bright balls into Google, I'm not sure what would come up.
Probably Peter Palmer.
Yeah.
Peter Palmer.
All right, so we don't have any listener feedback. I think after this episode, we'll probably get some kind of feedback in some form next week. So just want to make sure you guys know about the Firearms Radio Network Everyday Carry giveaway promotion that we're having up until June 30th, I believe. So we're giving away a Car Arms P9 as well as some other sweet stuff from Alien Gear holsters, Key Bar, Hellbent holsters, Precision Ear, Easy to See targets, Cantor Brenner designs, Wazoo survival gear, and LA police gear. So all you got to do to be entered is be a patron using the Patreon campaign for the Firearms Radio Network, Gun Guide Radio, This Week in Guns, or We Like Shooting. So that'll give you an entry. If you do not want to give us your money, it's fine. On that website, there's a form where you can put your name, email, phone number, and a testimonial on how the Firearms Radio Network has influenced your life. So that's all there on the firearmsradio.tv/EDC. Good golly.
What was that?
Sorry.
That's right. So just wrapping up, send questions or comments to myself, podcast@firearmsinsider.tv, or cross@firearmsradio.tv, or send hate mail to nick@firearmsradio.tv. Remember to subscribe and leave an iTunes review. Check out all the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv/iTunes. And be sure to visit the Firearms Insider website for reviews and industry coverage. So if you are a representative of any one of the companies that we talked about today and you're offended, I would just like to say, once again, there's no such thing as bad press. So you're welcome. And, it's nothing personal, just, this is four guys' take on some products that, aren't our cup of tea, unless you're Sam and you're selling a kilt and,
I'm very encouraging of that.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, in short, thanks for the hate fest, guys. It was fun. Stay tuned for the next episode, which will be more positive about things that we really like, and it won't be, pretentious or anything like that. It'll be cool products that actually give you a tactical advantage.
Cool. Thanks for having me, Ryan. I still got to get you over to Guns of Hollywood.
Yeah, let me know. I'll have to look at your schedule, see if there's a movie coming out that I'm a big fan of. Or, you know what, just give me something hard, I'll go rent it, and, yeah.
Perfect segue. Go to gunsofhollywood.com to look at the full schedule. And, yeah. Ryan, Tony.
Yeah.
All right, Sam.
Tony, make sure you plug your Simon Says training.
All right, yeah, my Simon Says train. I have another shoot. It's called the Second is for Everyone Diversity Shoot. It's being held at Gun for Hire range in Woodland Park, New Jersey. You can go to my Facebook page, Simon Says Train, just like that, and you can see a link to the event. It's a Second Amendment promotion. That's pretty much what I call this. I invite a bunch of people out who are either active or not even active politically in New Jersey, and I explain to them why they should get politically active in the state and join a Second Amendment group, be it NRA, ANJRPC, which is New Jersey State's NRA chapter, or New Jersey Second Amendment Society, or any of them. I just want to get regular people active because this is our state. We can control this. I mean, we fought off the 15-round magazine ban. They wanted to reduce it to 10. We fought that off last year. We need to gear up because Chris Christie is not going to be governor forever. They're going to bring a Democrat in, and they're really going to try to push legislation to really shut the firearms owners down in the state because that's what they do. That's their way to solve a problem. Meanwhile, they're not really solving, a problem of gun deaths in this state because they don't care. They just want to look like they're doing something. So I hold these events at a range. It's an indoor range. We actually have the 50-yard range to ourselves exclusively. We have myself, my partner, Sean from blackbagresources.com. He comes out. He's an NRA instructor and RSO. The range provides RSO. They have over 200 rental guns. And we have a classroom. Everyone comes in. We have swag from other companies. Actually, I just got an email today from Henry, and they're sending us promotional package stuff to hand out to everyone that shows up. We have Sean from Black Bag Resources. He has different things and prizes that he actually gives out. And we also have New Jersey Concealment Furniture. He's donated some things for me to give out too. So you come out, we have a great time. It's about an hour's worth of shooting. Again, there's rental guns, and then everybody else shoots everyone else's guns. We had really cool stuff. We had Henry 22 lever actions. We had Ruger 1022s of all kinds. We had STI 1911 the first time. Somebody had one of those. What do you call them? A 2011, I think they're called. Mm-hmm. The double stack 1911s. Yeah, guy had one of those out there. We had SIG ARs. We had subcompact, sub 2000s. Pretty much almost any gun you have, everybody's just trading, swapping, and letting everyone shoot everyone else's stuff. Plus, they have the rental guns there at Gun for Hire, which is everything from AK-47s to they even have a gold 50 cal Desert Eagle that you can rent and shoot. It's a great place. It's fun. They set it aside. It's on June 25th, which is a Thursday night, 6:30. That's when we kick off. So if you can come to Simon Says Train and go to my events page and click on the event, it's pinned to the top of my page, and let us know you're coming. That way we know how many people to expect, because we're pretty much limited to about 20, 25 people. But come, check it out. Come on down anyway. And if it grows, it grows. More people, the merrier. We hand out literature. I'm an NRA recruiter. I became an NRA recruiter just for this, so I can actually recruit people that night, give you your NRA hat, and let you pick which magazine you want and that kind of thing. But I really want to get people active in doing something, because saying you're a gun owner does not mean you're doing anything to help legislation or stop this. I mean, we have a dude who's a billionaire dedicated $50 million just to taking away our rights. And it's up to people like us, everyday dudes, to actually stop this from happening. And that's the only way we can do it, by recruiting and getting out there and getting other people to come to the range that have never been to the range. If you're looking to buy a new pistol but you don't know which kind you want, you can come here that night. He has reduced prices to rent the guns, so you can come out and you can shoot them. You can handle a firearm at this event. You pay a lot more to go to a range and shoot these if you rented them at not an event like this. Or if you want your girlfriend to get in the shooting, you can bring her out. We're going to have at least 3 NRA instructors there that night. So I'm just saying, it's an event. Come out. June 25th. Is sponsored by Black Bag Resources and myself, Simon Says Train. Go to my webpage, hook it up. Go to Black Bag Resources. They probably have something on their page to do it also. So that's my long-winded explanation of what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and where you can go to join it.
Well said. Yeah, glad to have you on the show, and I'm grateful for everything that you're doing over there.
Yeah, you have to do something in Jersey. Hopefully Sam can come down from the mountains where he lives at and check it out.
Oh, I live in Hackensack.
Oh, no, not the mountains.
I live in the Sac. I don't live in the mountains.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. You don't live in the mountains. Well, why don't you come down
County.
there?
I'm in the seat. I'm in the county seat, Bergen County.
Yeah. Hackensack, seriously. Indian word for just left of New York.
Woodland Park is Woodland Park's like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So I definitely try.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, come on down, man. It's a diversity shoot. You can come down.
He's diverse enough.
Yeah, and you can shoot that CZ you have. More importantly, I can. More importantly, I can shoot that CZ you have. Come on, brother.
I'll try to take care of you. I'll see if it's ready to come out. I don't know. She may be a little shy.
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen it on the internet, so it can't be real.
I also appreciate both Sam and Chad coming on the show. Also, thank you guys for coming on. Appreciate what you do, whatever it is, whatever the hell that is that you do. I appreciate it.
We harass you and tell you that these products are just not worth anything.
Yeah. So everyone have a good week. Shoot safe if you do go shooting, and I will catch you on the next episode.
All right.
Yep.
Later.